Lil Tay is a name that you probably haven't heard in quite a while, and let's be honest, if you do know who I'm talking about, you're probably happy about that fact, but in case you don't, here's a quick little refresher.
You already know what it is. Lil Tay, the youngest flex of the century. I'm only 9 years old, but I'm richer than all y'all broke-ass haters. This female kitchen is bigger than your whole entire living room, and I got 4 more houses.
Now, last week, a few tweets were put out on Lil Tay's account, starting with this mysterious "We have devastating news regarding Tay," followed up with a "Please pray for Tay. We will be updating you as more information becomes available." Now, a lot of people at first thought that this was indeed another death hoax that was put on, which unfortunately has happened before in Lil Tay's past, which we'll be summarizing in a moment. But my main point with making this video is that, unfortunately, I don't think that they're faking it this time. Now, to summarize this previous death hoax, I've got a photo from the Instagram post that had been put out. A year ago, this was posted on Instagram. It is with a heavy heart that we share the devastating news of our beloved Claire's sudden and tragic passing. We have no words to express the unbearable loss and indescribable pain. This outcome was entirely unexpected and has left us all in shock. Her brother's passing adds an even more unimaginable depth to our grief. During this time of immense sorrow, we kindly ask for privacy as we grieve this overwhelming loss, as the circumstances surrounding Claire and her brother's passing are still under investigation. Claire will forever remain in our hearts, and her absence leaving an irreplaceable void that will be felt by all who knew and loved her. Now, obviously, with words like those, a lot of people thought that that was indeed what had happened. There were some suspicions around it specifically, but no one had really, confirmed anything. But shortly after that, like a month after the death announcement, Lil Tay shared a music video for her new song. We ended up figuring out that it was a hoax. There was some back and forth. It's a lot to get into. Just to give you guys a quick example of how convoluted this has gotten. In regard to even some articles talking about the death hoax, if we go into it, Lil Tay claims that her estranged father wanted to sabotage her with the recent death hoax. She goes on to say with her mother that a former manager teamed up with her dad to spread news of the death hoax, and it was a way to boost exposure for a cryptocurrency coin. Her dad never made a comment, and then the manager just kind of ran with, well, it was a plan to bring her back into the spotlight with the crypto, and then made accusations about her brother, who was kind of the reason that she blew up in the first place. And then her brother just said, no, it was him. So it's just a bunch of people pointing fingers, but we never got an answer on who actually pulled the trigger on creating this death hoax. So given a track record of already hoaxing something as serious as that once, and the lack of information in these tweets, truly, it's just, please pray, we'll be updating you with information, and we have devastating news regarding Tay. A lot of people were under the assumption, myself included, that this was yet again another publicity stunt, fake death. There was even a community note placed on the tweet at one point saying, Lil Tay rent due again, don't fall for this. So the public perception was already, pretty bad, and a lot of people were making the assumption based on what had happened. Well, we started receiving some updates, some pictures showing that they were in the ICU and that Tay was there in serious condition. Again, still not enough for most people given their track record. They showed a follow-up showcasing something here, which I don't quite recognize. I believe that's showing the heart tumor that they're talking about, but again, not showing that it's Lil Tay. They responded to the community note saying this community note is misleading as something is indeed wrong with Tay. Last time it was her absentee father who hacked into her accounts and faked her death. However, this time she's in the ICU. She was diagnosed with a heart tumor, but we will keep you updated as we receive more information. Please continue to pray for Tay. And even still, with the information that they'd shown so far, people are still quite apprehensive of it actually being real. Seeing real, if this is a stunt, you guys are effed up. The story with the wolf, how you guys are presenting the news is sus. And you're gonna see that sentiment shared across pretty much most of the comments that are on these posts. And another follow-up saying Tay is about to undergo major open heart surgery to remove her heart tumor. This is a critical procedure. We ask for your prayers for a successful operation. And then finally, we got some video of Lil Tay. This video came with the message, we are overjoyed to share that Tay's open heart surgery was a great success. We are deeply thankful to our surgeon, cardiologist, and the team who are the best in the world. Thank you for the love, prayers, and positive energy you have all sent her way. Thank you for the continued support. We're off to a great start on the road to recovery. This was followed up with multiple other photos showcasing her, still laying in bed. Seems to be, taking it easy. Now with these photos and whatnot, I am really led to believe that this is actually true, that Lil Tay did have a heart tumor that was removed. Those photographs are pretty hard to doctor, and if they did, this would be the most vile stunt for publicity that I've ever seen. But unfortunately, it doesn't end there, because I believe her mother or someone that's working very closely with her mom continued to post after they showed photos of her in her hospital bed. Starting with this one. For the record, this has been confirmed before, but many people are spreading misinformation. Last year, Tay's misogynistic father, Christopher John Hope, was the person who hacked into her Instagram account and faked her death as a last attempt to ruin her reputation after losing the court battle over her career in custody. Tay and her mother have nothing to do with him. Now, at first glance, all right, we're calling the guy misogynistic. I mean, we didn't really get a full picture at the time. I believe it was still, pretty muddy. I could be wrong, but from what I was able to discern when it was coming out last year, her father being misogynistic didn't really, correlate to what he ended up doing. Well, it seems that they really were not fans of all of, the people who were doubting or saying, girl who cried wolf, this could have just been another death hoax. And a lot of people saying that it was. They were not very happy with that. The Lil Tay account ended up replying to someone saying it's always a stunt, showing the fact that a new song from Lil Tay is going to be coming out September 20th, which is kind of coinciding with the same time that she has been going through this heart surgery. The accusations that Tay's health crisis is for publicity are false and disgusting. If publicity or money were our goal, she would not have gone MIA for over a year. Instead, she would have posted every day to her millions of fans and done PR runs like every other celebrity and dropped music every month. Tay's health has always been our priority, not popularity or money. The false death hoax started by her misogynistic father to ruin her reputation is now being projected onto her. This is blatant victim blaming and rooted in misogyny. Tay deserves support, not harmful accusations. Now, I don't think I had seen anything related to the fact that Lil Tay is a girl across any of the hate being spread or any of the misinformation being spread in regard to what's happening to her now or even what happened to her in the past. And to throw these accusations back at the people who were doubting this entire issue as being, victim blamers and being misogynistic, it just seems very, disconnected from, the reality of the situation being that there was a death hoax. And not everybody in the public that witnessed it and watched it unfold knows the intricate details of it. I followed along when it happened, and I had to refresh myself what indeed had happened because there were so many details. And for anybody to understand that nuance to the degree that her mother would or someone working with her PR team would know, it is just not possible. Now, I understand that her mother and team, because this, appears to be very real, is under a lot of stress, and something like, I don't know, a life-threatening heart tumor and the surgery undergone to, get rid of it is a very stressful and terrifying situation to be in. I can very much understand them being like, Tay can do no harm in this situation. I don't want to give off this idea that I would be doing any better in a situation like this, but they seem to have failed to recognize the fact that Lil Tay's reputation is forever going to be tainted by this death hoax. It came off as a very genuine, serious thing. And going forward, you need to provide these details, like those photos. And the fact of the matter is that they didn't for quite a few days. And so the rumor mill is going to run, especially when there is a history of it happening in the past. To turn this into some, blatant victim blaming and misogyny is just stupid. It doesn't track with any of the posts that I've seen in regards to it. And I was combing through, and it's just a lot of people saying that it's probably fake. And they see the single coming out on September 20th. And they're going, yeah, it's probably fake for a PR stunt. It wasn't until we saw photos of her in that bed with an IV, I believe it's called something else, hooked up to her neck, that people started to go, oh no, this is real. And to tie it into this narrative and say that, the haters or people that are doubting it are just these, terrible people, it just doesn't logically make sense. And that's why I'm saying, hey, maybe they're under a lot of stress. You're not going to be thinking very clearly when your daughter is going through surgery. So I don't want to blame them a whole ton, but it's very clear as to why people are pushing back now, because at first you weren't being very specific, you weren't giving details, and then boom, you got photos and suddenly you're trying to virtue signal. I don't know. It rubbed people the wrong way. And in case that wasn't enough for you to just think that maybe they're just trying to run this other narrative, they reposted this tweet. Everybody who thought this was a publicity thing is actually evil. I hope that this is her mother, making these replies and stuff and not someone that they're actually hiring, because this is terrible. This is a horrible look. If I was in this situation where my dad had faked a death hoax and I had just gone through open heart surgery, yeah, I guess I'd be a little butthurt, but it wouldn't take very long for me to go, oh, you know what? Unfortunately, my brand has a track record with this kind of thing. And let's take a look at those first tweets. We have devastating news regarding Tay. Please pray for Tay. We will be updating you as more information becomes available. I am genuinely curious as to the thought process behind releasing these and not expecting the backlash that you got. You are clickbaiting with this. You had the information leading up to it, especially if this is a mom or even the PR team working with them, because the mom and, you know, the parents at the time in the past had been running the accounts. And I very much struggled to believe that you would not have the foresight to look at these and go, this is going to, you know, stir the pot. The fact that there's no information in these first tweets comes off very much like these were done with the intent of garnering attention. If attention wasn't your first priority and your first priority was informing, you know, the people that are big fans of Lil Tay, you wouldn't be keeping information like this, you know, on the down low. I very much could be wrong, but for the people running this account to turn around and say, hey, the people that thought that this was a hoax are evil, as opposed to just going off of what they were, you know, given as information, which was not very much, and given your history being that there already was a death hoax, to call those people evil just feels like you're completely missing the mark, and you're treating people like they've got the memory of goldfish, and it's just, it doesn't make sense. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think. At the end of the day, it's unfortunate that it is true. From what it looks like, Lil Tay did have a heart tumor and did have to have a very invasive surgery to, you know, take care of it. I'm glad she's doing okay. I wish her the absolute best, but I don't think how they've responded to, you know, the backlash and whatnot has really helped Lil Tay or the brand at all. But let me know what you guys think. If you agree, disagree, let's argue in the comments. Check out my Discord. It's, you know, for 18 up, big boy adults. And consider becoming a Quanker or a Quiglet. It'll be in the description below to join members. You get early access to videos like this. Hello, early access members. Speaking of which, let's get into our membership shoutouts. Shout out to the Sand Dog, Vicky Adiniren. I'm so sorry. Elena is here, not Ninja_S. Blair, 4ife, Munzie, Carrier Bag, Shelf Related, Lil Kitty, Evil Fairy, Cam Nuggets, OMG It's a Pancake, Xavier, Boy Tiger Rockin', Rabid Lorax, Artistic Smeargle, Edward Rock 6, Hexstream, Snowballs, Youngest Kid, ZXXZZ1, Pombanenge, Joan, Michael Dufka, Person Pal, MelTF2, Jeremy Stalkup, Blasted Sketch, Waylon, Glitch Hoff, Yogi Farmer, Weird Wonders, Vinzo0913, Keo, Sir Kitty Litter, Forkstick, River Rocks, Persona Normal, WinVR, Psych Xander, Noah Brown, Naomi Jimenez, Sundasphere, Frosty, Tommy Sees Cat, Captain Spud, Orange Cat Pianist, Emp40, PB Whitkay, Bib Jim, Alex, Rain the Once, Yesimo, Basically Bricks, Cooking with Silence, Kate Munster, Quinthio's Brother, Owen Murnane, Jackson, No Stay BI, Saya Sneaka, For All Yarn Kind, Esme Smiley Face, Ogie's JK, Iona, Titanium Sid, Kate's Mom, Bosu, and last but certainly not least, Quinthio's mom. All right, I'll see you guys later. Take care.